All right, here we are again with Rules Cyclopedia. Today we are going to talk about the War Machine and the Siege Machine. Well, what does that even mean? Well, both segments today are going to be all about mass combat in Dungeons and Dragons. Mass combat, I think, is one of those things that is often either hand-waved or becomes so boring isn't the word I want to use, so meticulous that it turns it into something completely different. Now, I don't know how Rules Cyclopedia is going to cover that. We're going to find out here in just a moment. Is it something you want to hand wave, or is it something that's that you want to dive into the meticulousity? Is that a word? I made it up.
No,
I'm going
not
with
a word.
It. No, it is now.
Meticulousness.
There you go. Meticulousness of it. The meticulosity of the entire thing. Yeah, we'll find out here in just a moment. Get that off the screen. Get that off. I can't. Why does it take 7 hours for? Okay. So, where are we going? We are going to. We're not in combat. There we go. Mass combat, chapter 9. That did not. What? Saving throws? What are you doing? This is the worst PDF ever for, hey, click here and it'll go to not where you want to go. So it's going to be page 117. Let's try it again. Oh, there now it went. Okay. So we talked about siege combat right at the end, a little bit of siege combat right at the end of last week. And now we are going to talk about a mass combat. So the first thing we're going to discuss is the War Machine. So the War Machine is a system of game rules designed to resolve large battles in the D&D game. What, you don't want to roll initiative for 400 different monsters all at one time? I think that could be fun. Come back in 20 minutes once I have...
Smoke if you got them.
Yeah, smoke them if you got them, that's right. And that's just for the initiative roll.
Yeah.
The War Machine will work with any number of troops. It is recommended for any force with more than 10 combatants. To use the system, all you need is a pencil and paper plus some knowledge of simple arithmetic. Oh, crap, you just scared away.
No, we're done. Game over. Roll it up. Nope, it's done.
Assumptions. Oh, you know what assumptions are, right? Several assumptions are made in the War Machine mass combat system. All troops have a level of quality that can improve or drop with time and experience. Okay. Many other factors such as terrain, weather, etc., beside quality of troops, influence the outcome of a large battle.
Sure. Okay.
So far, I'm liking it. Yeah. Luck, good or bad, can influence combat results, whether in a single combat or clash of armies.
That's what dice are for.
What's that?
That's what dice are for.
Well, right, and what is it? The best laid plans of mice and men, right? You know, or there's the best laid plans never survive contact with the enemy. As Heathen Dog was saying, the dice represent that, but I'm glad that is built into the rules as well. You might think you have superiority, but if your entire first row of that phalanx trips over a stone, now you got some problems. Walking on each other. And a character knows how to survive in the D&D world. The player does not need to know the tactics of war.
Fair. That's actually good. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of players, haven't played the whole strategy war games, and so they aren't going to be able to set up a proper flank or have remember that the pikemen in the front have to be supported and maybe some surprise roving cavalrymen come in, they won't think of that stuff because they don't do it. Hopefully it's built into this, so, they don't have to. I'd love to see that. That'd be great.
Yeah, well, it also breaks that notion, and it's not an incorrect notion, only at this point it is, that a lot of basic Dungeons and Dragons is more about player skill and knowledge versus character skill and knowledge. And some of that comes with the fact that it doesn't have a long list of skills, and it doesn't have, a lot of those things like more modern games will have. There is a lot of player ability baked into Rules Cyclopedia. Well, this kind of says, yeah, good luck with that. None of you fought in real medieval campaigns. And to be fair, myself included on this, I'm finding out that a lot of the stuff I know has been wrong. If you actually watch historical battles, like people talk about how real historical battles were done, they're very rarely what you think they were. And there are a lot of misconceptions out there that for whatever reason are perpetuated, whether through movies or comic books or D&D games or whatever. Great for your table, great for cinematic play. Keep playing your game, doing your thing. But
don't try it in the real world.
Yeah.
At any point.
Right. All right. So each body of troops, called a force, is given a rating for quality. When combat occurs, this battle rating, sometimes abbreviated as BR, is modified for battle conditions. Each player then rolls percentile dice and adds the modified battle rating of the troops. The high roll wins the battle. That's overly simplistic. Okay.
It is very simplistic sounding.
The entire system has 4 basic steps. Calculate the basic force rating of the troops. Find the troop class. Calculate the battle rating. And determine and apply combat results. Okay. Steps 1, 2, and 3 are handled when a force is hired and outfitted. So this is something you'll already be prepped for when you get into the mass combat. Throughout the system, the person or creature commanding a force is called the leader. Others, called officers, help the leader to control the force. The fighting persons in a force are called troops. In the calculations, round all fractions up unless instructions say otherwise. So basically follow math. Oh no, all fractions. Never mind. All fractions.
Even like 1/20th still goes up.
All right, let's find out how we calculate the basic force rating. Basic force rating is the total of 4 factors: leadership, experience, training, and equipment. A 5th factor applies if the force is special, elves, dwarves, and powerful monsters. Find the experience level of the leader of the force, modify it by all leaders' adjustments for intelligence, wisdom, and charisma scores. By all the leaders. Okay, so all the leaders' adjustments.
All your bonuses 1 to 3, or minuses 1 to 3, to be fair.
Then add +2 for each 1% of the force that is of name level, 9th level or above. Okay. We don't have anything plotted out here. I didn't prepare for this, so I can't say how many we have as a force.
Let's just do me. My character is a leader of the force.
Okay.
The force leader. Okay. Find the experience of a leader. 1. All right. Modify it by the leader's adjustments for intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. +3 total. Then add +2 bonus for each 1% of the force that is of name level. Well, let's roll percentile and see what percentage of the force are that completely outclasses me, but yet I'm still the leader somehow. 17% of the force is name level. So that's +17.
34.
So right now it's 20.
No, it's +2 for.
Okay. I'm sorry. So 17, 34 plus 3 is 37. So right now we're at 37.
All right, so your leadership factor is 37. You might want to write that down because I'm going to forget.
I'm writing that down. Got it.
All right, now find the average experience level of the officers in the force, not counting the leader, thank God, and multiply it by 3.
Okay, how many officers do we have in the force? I'll just roll a D8. 2. Okay, the average level out of 36. Because I roll with humans. I don't do that other nonsense. Shut up. So I'm just gonna roll 6 dice. And then
66?
And then divide that. Yeah, 66. All right, so that's 5.
He's the honorary leader at level 1.
Yay.
He's got his honorary PhD.
One of them's 18, and one of them is 10, 15, 16, 21. 18 and 21. So it's what? Average experience. So
where are we here? The average experience of the officers in the force, so that'd be 19 and a half, so we round up to 20. And then multiply it by 3, so 60.
Okay. So that is the
experience factor. So let's finish reading through this here. Force must have at least 1 officer for every 40 troops. So it looks like, well, he rolled percentile dice. So we'll just assume he has 100 troops because that's what, he started off rolling the percentile dice.
Oh, then I need 1 more.
No, you don't.
I only have 2 officers.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, then we'll say it's 80 then.
Okay, there you go. 80 troops.
Let's see. Find the average level of the troops, not including leader officers. Double it, and add the officer rating. Okay, so how do you want to do the average level of the troop? We don't want to make them 36.
D4 plus 1.
That's fair.
Right, there you go.
That's fair.
Wow, 5. The average level of the troop is 5.
Okay, so find the average level of the troops.
Yep.
Double it.
10.
and add that to the officer rating. So 10 plus, what was your officer rating? 60?
Yeah. So it's
Okay.
70.
Add 1 to the total for every victory the force has won in the last 10 years. Nope, this is green troops. Screw that.
They're brand new.
And subtract 1 for every time the force has been routed. Nope, they're green.
Brand new.
Just been put together. So all this math right here, which isn't hard, you could see it was done in 3 steps like we just did it. Boom. So he has an experience factor. It's 60,
70.
right? 70. That's right, because you had to add the 10 on there.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Now we're moving on to training. Score 1 point for every week spent in training.
Okay, let's say it's a new force. They could have up to 6 months of training. That's possible. All right. So 6 times 4.
And he's still level 1.
24. Up to 24 months. So D20 plus 4. 17 weeks.
Okay. So 1 point for each week spent in training.
Okay.
Add 1 for each week the leader spends with them. Well,
I'm say it's 17.
Your first level. You slept through all the training. You
It
just
doesn't
showed
matter.
up today.
It says with them, not paying attention to them. Shut up.
And add 1 for each month that the troops remain together are not off in their homes or towns.
6.
Max of 12 per year. We'll say, the 17
Oh,
weeks.
no,
is
it was 17 weeks, so it's going to be what?
3 months. 3 months.
3 months.
Okay. Use the mercenary pay rates. Don't care about that right now. Training time costs double the standard amounts shown in that chapter because they're not mercenaries.
Right.
You're actually paying for their food, their housing, their barracks, all that good stuff. So, what did your training factor come out to be?
107 total.
107?
I'm sorry. The training factor ended up being 37.
37. Okay. So remember, these are 3 different things now. We had the the force rating? We had we're still on that.
Leadership factor is 37. The effective force or experience factor, is 70.
And the training?
And the training factor is 37.
And now we have the equipment factor.
Okay.
The base value is 5, 10, or 15, depending on the quality of weapons. Use 5 if the weapons are average. All troops are assumed to have average weapons unless others are specified. Use 10 if the weapons are good. Double the normal cost, though.
No, average. 15.
Yeah, you're greenies. You don't get
average. Yeah, they're not going to give us the expensive stuff. We haven't proven ourselves yet.
Add 5 if the troops are armed with a second weapon of the same qualities for... Okay, this is getting a little complicated now. Add 5 more points if the average armor class of the troops is 5 or better.
No.
Well, hold on. You guys
hang on.
average
at 9,
level.
It's not hard to get to 5.
Yeah, so your average is 5th level.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. So 5 for average weapons, 5 for average armor class of 5 or better. So that's 10.
Yeah. I would say it'd be right at 5 for the
but
armor
that's
class,
fine.
but that counts. So
That works.
Yeah. So that's 10. Troops hired at cost mercenaries come with their own gear, and that gear will be of average quality. If the leader of the force wants to buy him superior weapons or armor, he's first level, he doesn't have that. Cost comes out of his own pocket.
Yeah.
Okay, so equipment factor is 10.
Yep. Got it.
Special troop factor. If the troops are the elves and dwarves, well, he didn't go that, but
human army, baby.
But I'm going to read it for the folks out there.
Okay.
The troops are all either elves or dwarves. This factor is 15. Note that dwarves and elves are never in the same force. Notice the word never there. Never in the same force. I like that never. That's an important never. Hug that never. Believe in that never. If some monster troops have 2 or more asterisks listed with their hit dice, they are special. For each 1% of the force that is special, score 2 more. Yeah, okay. If you want monsters in your unit, go for it.
Well, yeah. If you want some evil necro dragons, flying overhead, that's great. You do you, but we're not doing that here in human land.
All right, so add up all the numbers that you got.
Okay, that is going to be 107, 117 for 154.
All right, your basic force factor is 154.
Okay.
Okay, well, now we have to find the troop class. Troop class is a measure of the overall quality of a force. Once you know the BFR of the force, use the table below. Oh, so what did you have? What? Holy crap, you got an excellent. Your troop class is excellent.
154. That's elite.
Wait, you got 154?
Yeah, 37 for leadership factor, 70 for experience factor. Training is 37 and equipment is 10.
Oh, okay. I know why it's that high. Okay. It's because you have 80 people.
Yes.
Yeah.
80 folk.
Because remember, this is for 10 and above. So if you had 10, you would not be okay.
I would not. No, I would not be anywhere near that. No.
Yeah. So you basically have a company.
Yes.
Well, a small company, but a company. All right. Calculate the battle rating. So yeah, for now, write down that you're elite then.
Elite, baby.
Divide the BFR, the force, by 10. So that's 15.4, rounding up. So that's 16.
16, got it.
The result is the bonus to use in all of the following calculations.
All right.
Examine the following statements and their explanations, and then add the bonus to the BFR every time one of the statements is true. For example, if statement A is true and statement B is true, you add the bonuses twice. Got it.
Okay.
Since this could be done up to 12 times, the total BFR could be more than the original BFR. Got it.
Sure.
Total BFR, the total BR is the original BFR plus the bonuses. Note the BR with the troop class and the BFR. Got it. So you have no mounted. Screw that. You're not getting any mounted.
Anything.
You're greenies. They just have armor.
Yep.
Missiles.
There's so many. There has to be archers in our thing.
Yeah, but you're only one company, man. They usually come in their own units.
All right, fine. No missile. No magical. No spells. No flying. Average mover rate of 100 feet per turn. That's
well,
like,
you're human.
Yeah. So
now,
yeah.
but here's the issue. Does that armor slow you down? Remember encumbrance?
No. It's only an armor class 5. We're not wearing anything plate or even scale.
That's chainmail.
That's chainmail. Yeah, but it's not scale or plate mail, so I don't think it will.
I forget if it does. I'm not going to go back and look in the encumbrance section if it does. There is something in there about the coinage weight of it, but I'll give them speed. Fine, whatever.
But nothing else.
All right. So it talks in here about flying, you know, what those are. Example, an elven prince has a force of 500 elves. All second. So this is what's going against Heathen Dog. Yeah. All second level and equipped with bows and longswords. Why? Because they're stupid elves. The BFR is 96 and troop class is good. So he's actually doing better than him right now, mostly because he's got better armor.
And all my guys are 5th level and not 2nd.
Yeah, that's right. 100, or the average level is 5th. 100 of his elves are mounted on Pegasi.
Oh, that's cheating.
That's cheating. And all elves can cast spells.
Sure.
However, only 12 elves have magic items. The bonus is 10% of 96, 9.6, which rounds up to 10. The prince adds 10 to the BFR 8 times for 20% are mounted. C&D, more than 20% can fire. Yep, got that. For a total bonus of plus 80 to the BFR for a 176. Okay, yours was
16.
Yeah, just one pop of 16.
One bonus of 16. So my total BFR with that one bonus is 170.
You're close. You guys are close. It's 176.
And it's 80 against 500, and we're that close. That's pretty good.
You know, that level, man, that level got...
yeah, it's the level, and my 2 officers are pretty good, too.
Okay, situations will arise when players and DMs don't want to take the time to use the full system for determining battle ratings. I mean, that wasn't that hard. We did it right here.
It took about, 15 minutes? And
I mean, and we're reading through it, so yeah.
Yeah, and you only have to do it once.
The following quick system will work for most troops without requiring as many calculations. If there's an extremely powerful force, it's probably better to use the full process. This process works better for lower levels and simpler units. Well, so we probably should have done this other one. Anyway, you can look at it there. We're not going to go through this part right here. I want to see the result of that. I mean, does 176 automatically beat 170? I don't think it should.
No, there's got to be a roll in here somewhere.
Yeah. All right. For you to use the War Machine in a battle, each side must have the same number of forces or armies. Uh-oh.
No. It doesn't say the same disposition or amount. I have one force. He has one force.
Let's get through this first before.
All right.
If one side has a greater number of forces than the other side, the side with fewer forces must be divided into an equal number of armies. Okay. Well, you're going to win now. I mean, that just means you win. You're going to decimate one of his forces. As a player may keep the original rating of the force and simply declare that the troops have been split into two separate armies. Example, a force of 1,000 orcs, battle rating 72, meets 3 other forces, 200 elves, 400 men, and 140 dwarves. The orcs must be split into 3 forces, all of which will have the same BR, 72. These might be 100, 100, and 800. That doesn't make sense if they're all 72, but let's go to the bottom here. Or any other combination, as long as these 10 individuals are in each force.
No.
Okay, that's weird.
I get it. The mechanics would break if you don't have an equal number of forces. I get it.
Yeah. And you don't want to start hemming and hawing through all that pedantic math. Personally, I would say, look, split it up evenly. If for the orcs, I'm talking for the orcs. Yeah. Just split it up. What do you say, 800? So 332.
It's actually 1,000. It's actually
1,000. So 333 in each one. Just make it nice and easy. But the rules say that you could do 10, 10, and 980.
Or whatever. Yeah.
So each force picks its opponent. The player with the force having the highest BR chooses first.
Okay, the elves get to choose. Well, they have to. They're only facing me, so they choose me.
Right. Then the force with the next highest BR and so on. Continuing the example above, the dwarves pick one group of 100 orcs. The next highest rated force picks an opponent. The elves take the other group of 100 orcs. The third highest rating is the orcs, so they would choose next. But there's only one remaining force, the men, so the 800 orcs will fight the 400 men. All right, now let's determine the results. The forces that have been rated according to the above 3 steps are now prepared to meet on the battlefield. Now, for Heathen Dog's purposes, it's just one elf force versus his force.
Yes.
That's to find out what the result of this engagement is, start with the BR of each force and add or subtract the following adjustments to that. So, hold on, you had 170, right?
Yep, I have one.
You
170 right on the nose.
Yeah, and I'm
174.
176.
Oh, sorry, 176.
Okay, so troop ratio.
They've got a lot more men than me.
Yeah, that's way up here, dude.
Bad. So I've got 80.
And I've got 500.
Hang on. This is gonna suck. Yeah, that sucks. 5, 6.
Yeah,
it's about 6 to 1. It's a little over 6 to 1.
This chart doesn't go to 6 to 1, and I don't want to do the math on it right now. So
right,
I'm
plus
just
80.
Huh?
You're
right. I'm looking at 50 to 2-1. You're right. Yeah. I was thinking just direct number. So yeah, plus 80. So that's 174. So that's 254. Okay. Morale. Plus 10 if the force is in Dominion of their liege. Well, yeah, you're in the Dominion of your liege.
Yeah, I get a plus 10.
Yep.
Shut up.
You've not beaten this foe before.
No.
Class is
2 levels higher than enemy. Yes, on average. Yes.
There you go. Add plus 10. Yep.
Okay.
If attacking enemy on the march, sure, I'm on the march.
Okay, cool.
My elves are on the march to get you.
Well, yeah, they're coming toward me, so yeah, okay.
Okay, so there we go, and no negatives there. So add, was it another
70,
50?
80, 90, that's 210. Now I'm at 210.
All right, you're catching up. Environment. Extremely favorable, unfavorable, entire force of night. No, we're just going to say it's normal. It's a normal environment.
Yeah, it's normal.
Terrain. Higher altitude than the opponent. No, I've got flying creatures. For halfling force, nope. Elven force in the woods, nope. You decided to attack.
We're not fighting elves in the woods. What are you, dumb? No.
All right. So, for a force with mounted troops in mountains, nope. For a force in a mire, nope. Shifting ground, nope. So none of the terrain ones apply for us.
Good. Okay, good.
Okay.
Terrain modifiers for defenders only. That's me.
Yep, but yeah, well, we're not gonna. So in play, wait, if defending and you're holding. Give yourself plus 10.
Plus 10.
Nope. Nope. No, you're not in a stronghold. You're not doing sieges right now.
We're not yet. So now I'm up to 220.
Okay, immunity. I forget what elven immunity are, so we're gonna say no.
Yeah, the elves are not immune to being bashed in the face. So
that's true. Fatigue, no fatigue.
No fatigue.
Okay, and I think when the BR is modified as described above, each player rolls percentile dice and adds the modified BR. So mine was 254.
Mine's 220.
All right, so it is still technically possible that you win.
Yes, technically, it's not that bad.
Considering that it's 500 to 80, that's actually what the hell am I?
It's pretty good odds. Being it's such bad odds.
All right, I got a 31.
You got a what?
A 31.
I got a 64.
Okay,
I still don't think I won.
A 4, 5, 5, 8. So I got a total of a 285.
Oh, okay. I got 284.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding. 220
That's
plus
awesome.
64 is 284.
That's awesome. Okay, remember that number. 285 versus 284. The elves are hurting. When the winner and loser have been identified, I mean, what is one? Is that really...
Is that really a win or a loss? I mean, come on.
So each player rolls percentile and adds a modified BR as a result. The total is the combat result. The player with the highest combat result wins. Okay, as of this moment, we'll see if there's more to it later.
One.
A simple one, even when we're in the hundreds, is a win. But let's figure out what happens. There could be some caveats to that. When the winner and loser have been identified, determine the effects of the battle as follows. Subtract the loser's combat result from the winner's result. Okay, one. Find the difference in the left-hand column of the War Machine combat result. Okay, here you go. War Machine combat result.
There it is.
Difference, 1. Okay, we'll come back to this a little bit. It looks like we're going to have some casualties and some fatigue and some locations. Okay, we'll come back to this later. Okay. So find the difference, apply the resulting... so subtract the loser's combat result from the winner's result. Find this difference in the left-hand column of the War Machine combat results table. Apply the resulting casualties, fatigue, and location to both the winning and losing troops as noted.
Oh, well, technically I would say I won.
Well, we'll get to it. I mean, but according to the battle results, I'm technically the winner by the roll. So we'll go with that.
You're losing a lot more troops than me.
Probably. When subtracting casualties, consider half of them as dead and the other half as wounded. Okay. When a force contains mixed troops, such as trolls and goblins, the casualties must be split as evenly as possible between them. If a force... Now, that's interesting. Do you mean by number or by hit die?
I think it means by number.
See, I would go by hit die.
I would go by hit die as well, but yeah.
If a force retreats from the field, treat all wounded as killed. If a force holds the field after the battle, those wounded troops can return to action in 1d4 a month, so not tomorrow.
Yeah.
Fatigue. Troops will remain fatigued for 1d4 days. Seriously fatigued troops will become moderately fatigued in 1d4 days and will have their strength restored after another 1d4. So, still a shell shock going on there. Terrain units, this term represents whatever measure of distance is most appropriate on a hex or square grid map. This is 1 hex or square. If no unit of measures seems obvious, use a mile. Got it. Okay, before we read sieges, let's go
down to the thing. 1 is losers. Winners lost 0. I lost 10%. 0? I lost 8 people. 4 of them dead, 4 of them injured. Because I only have 80. So 10%. There you go.
Okay. Now, fatigue. The winner, the force is not fatigued. Loser, the force is not fatigued. So the battle still goes on.
Location. Winner F, loser L. What's F?
So F. So winner, that's me. The force holds the battlefield after the battle. R, the force must retreat from the field.
One square.
Okay.
They were talking about earlier. Yeah.
Yep. Basically, what happened was you felt your units felt overwhelmed, even though you only lost 10%. Look, it was 500 to 80. They're already cannot talk. They're already scared. They're already looking for a reason to run. They started losing people, and they got the Griffins or the Pegasi flying overhead. They're like, "F this, we're out."
Yep.
Now.
No. Yeah, we weren't routed. routed.
No, you weren't routed at all. No.
We just tactically retreated.
Yeah, you realize that numbers were against you and left. Or again, what I'm saying right here is just one way of describing it, like to put a little historical context on this. But
they lost nobody. That fuck. I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, no. This is the next day. We're rolling again. Rolled again.
Well, hold on. Let's see what it says for next day.
Nope. Rolled again.
Optional rules. Hold on, because it goes into sieges. Okay. Extensive siege rules are provided later. I just want to make sure that, okay, let's read through this, and if there's nothing else that gets in the way of it, we will do the next day.
All right.
Extensive siege rules are provided later in this chapter. For simple sieges, here are simpler rules. A force located inside a fortified structure, you are not that right now, may be attacked by another force, but has superior position. This is called a siege. It's always easier to defend than to attack. The rough estimate is you want 6-to-1 forces. If you don't have 6-to-1 forces, that's when you start starving them out. The force within the structure is a defender. If the defender comes out of the structure, unmodified War Machine rules should be used. Don't come out of your structure, you dum-dum. But then again, you might have to.
Unless you're running out of food and water and people start dying, then you gotta.
If the defender remains within the structure, a siege result uses the following additional rules. Now remember, these are simplified rules. So the next video will be the siege machine, by the way, which will probably be the more involved rules. When calculating troop ratio, multiply the number of defending troops by 4. Okay, uses a 4-to-1 ratio here. Combat results of retreat or rout are ignored by the defender. Well, yeah, because where are you going to go?
Yeah, there's no retreating or routing. Yeah.
All defender casualties are reduced by half. Interesting.
Well, they are behind a really thick wall, so okay.
The attackers the following options: can attack normally using the above rules and suffering because the defender is so well in place, or the attacker can besiege the defender. The attacker surrounds the defenders, keeping them within the structure. This adds +5 to the attacker's BR for each week of the siege. That makes sense. It's not right away. It's just you're surrounding and waiting to starve them out.
Yep.
Some forces have clerics available to magically create food and water. If a besieged defender does not have a cleric, the DM should keep a record of the defender's food supplies. After they're exhausted, the defender loses 10% of its numbers per week until the siege ends. And let's see, mercy rules, optionals, tactics. Okay, I'm not seeing anything in here that says we can't do another. Oh, wait. Oh, what is all this?
Revenge of the Heathen Dog.
Character actions. We will look at this in a moment. I just want to make sure there's nothing. Damaged PCs or never kills. Okay, War Machine. Experience points, magical items. This is getting into weird. So, okay, troops can move together. Okay, we'll read all of this in a moment. And we're in War Machine. That's the events of the War Machine, and then we go into the siege machine. Okay, yeah, let's do one more day. One more day of battle. Does your battle rating go down?
My BR may go down by a couple points because I lost 8 men, but I'm not going to do that math. We're not going to go back. It's only 8 dudes. All right.
Okay, that's for our purposes here. That's fine. Let me get my percentile dice again.
Holy shit!
Hold on. Let me find my percentile dice. I put them back. All right. I got a 25.
I got a 98.
All right. So how much did you win by? So I got, let me get my math here. 254 plus 25. Oh, so it'd be 5 less. I got 280.
All right, you got a 24?
25. I got 280 total.
Okay. So that is, I beat you by 73. But
hold on. I'm sorry. I had a 279.
279? Okay.
You beat me by how much?
220, 98, 8. 9, 10, I have 318.
So 318. So you beat me by what? 39?
39.
You beat me by 39. Okay, looking at the table here, beats me by 39. Winner, he lost nothing. I lost 30%
30% of 500.
N for fatigue. The force is still not fatigued, though.
Neither of them?
Well, yours... Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Oh, yours are moderately fatigued.
So, yeah, moderately fatigued, yep.
And you are routed. No, you're just regular retreating. Regular retreating. Yep. No, hang on. Retreating +2.
Okay, hold on. I got to go through each one of these. And so where are we? So R. So the winner gets an R. The force must retreat from the field. And then the loser also retreats from... Oh, no, I'm one more down. You're right.
One more down.
So F, the force holds... So he holds the battlefield because he won. I got R +2. So now we retreat 2 squares away.
+2 squares. R is 1 square. So it's 3 squares total.
Yeah.
So you lost 30% of your troops. I lost nothing. So 30% of 500.
Okay, we didn't do the calculation for you. We're not going to do it for me.
But that's a lot. That's not 8 folk.
But we're not gonna do this another round. We got to keep going on. But what I like about this though is it does show the ebb and flow, the swing of a battle.
Yeah.
I do think that there should be. How do I say this? In no way, shape, or form should I think that I should automatically win, especially since, his number, I mean, we were just one number difference. But I do think that a winner should be able to press some sort of momentum. So let's look at these optional rules here. Tactics. A good leader will select a plan before committing troops to battle. By the way, we are not reading every optional rule. Just want to be very clear about that. The success of this plan depends on the opponent's plan. Each commander chooses a tactic from the tactics table to indicate the choice. See, we didn't do that. To indicate the choice, place a D6 die on the table for you with the number of your plan facing up. Cover it with one hand until your opponent has also made a choice, then reveal both choices at the same time. So this tactics table could also modify.
Yeah, it could, but it's optional. We didn't use it.
I don't know. Yeah, but I like this. Okay, I'm not saying every fight has to include tactics, but I think it's important. He's a first level commander. Chances of him having good tactics against, we'll just say, the Elven commander, he might have worse troops, but could be like level 8. Remember, they use a different leveling system there. So yeah, level 8 commander with level 2 troops might even be better than a level 1 commander with level 5 troops.
Sure.
But you'll figure that out in your rolls. So cover, use tactic table to find a result. Remember, the die is placed to reflect the player's choice. It is not rolled randomly. You can also use written choices. If the result gives only one effect, that's NE or NC, we'll figure out what that is in a moment, that effect is applied to both sides in the battle. If the result is 2 effects separated by a slash, the result on the left refers to side A, result on the right refers to side B. There's no advantage to being either A or B. Then how do you determine? Do you just pick?
Yeah, you just choose. Like, I'm A, you're B, go.
Okay. If more than one force per side is involved in the battle, choose one tactic per side, not per force. I don't know if I like that. I would have to know who's A and B before I put my die down.
Yeah.
But real quick, let's just say, here we go. I get it. Side A, side B. Okay, never mind. So I'm going to put a D6 down. You put a D6 down, and then we're going to move on.
Okay, close your eyes.
Well, I'm not looking at the screen at all. So I'm just picking a number. I'm not even looking at what the tactics are. Okay, I put down a 3.
I put down a 5.
Okay. So
I'm A.
You're A. Okay, so he's 5, and I put down a 3. So he gets C2, and I get a plus 20, whatever the hell that means.
C2
so casualties are
increased
by 20%.
That's horrible.
And
10, 20, or 30. This one's, yeah.
And
20.
What's the plus 20? Add this number to the forces BR. So wow. I get an increase to my BR.
Yeah, and I get boned. That's this is a horrible optional rule. I don't like it. Let's move on.
No, I do. I give. Hey, look. You know what that means. So let's say that happened on day 2 on the second fight. You still took out more of my force.
And I took 0's casualties, so 20% more of 0 is still 0.
Yeah. That's interesting. I wonder if this is additional math or if it's... Because usually in a game, that plus 20, like that, isn't plus 20 to whatever the original was. It's just plus 20. So if you lost 30, like if I lost 30% and I got this would bump it up to losing 50%. Not 20% of 30 added onto it. Generally, that's how it works. But either way, you guys figure that out at your table. We need to move on because we got a long day. I like the tactics thing. Just use it before.
And just remember, elven blood makes the grass grow.
That is true. It's green and phosphorescent and flowers.
Flowers love it.
You got mercy rules. You've got character action rules, so you can do some reconnaissance, it looks like. Get some misinformation out there. PC heroics. Look at that. Did you accomplish a heroic task? Looks like you can add some role-playing in this as well. Other notes. Damage to PCs. PCs are never killed as a result of a war machine battle. They can be scattered and separated, but any attempts to actually damage the character should be handled in normal game sessions.
That makes sense.
I love this rule.
Yes.
I'm not against characters dying. I think characters, if adventuring was easy, everybody would do it.
But player characters are main characters in the story. They should not die off screen. And that's exactly what would happen if they died in this War Machine force combat. They'd be dying off screen.
Right. The first part that he said I disagree with, but the second part of what he said I completely agree with. Players should always have the ability to engage the situation that's killing them. Not just, hey, random, you know what? I rolled a 51 or better. Hey, make a new character. What? PC items and spells, experience points. Actually, I wasn't going to read through this, but I probably should. If a normal adventure is played, then only the spells and magic item charges actually used are lost. If no adventure is played, determine whether the PC is on the winning or losing side. If on the losing side, all combat spells and 2/3 of the charges and offensive and defensive magic items are used. That's basically saying you threw everything at him before you had to go.
Kitchen sink and everything.
What's that? Yeah, kitchen sink and everything. If on the winning side, 1/3 of the applicable magic item charges are used, and the PC keeps one combat spell. Whew, it was a tough fight, but you still got one left just in case. One round in the chamber. Experience points are earned for both commanding a force and for performing heroics. If PC leads a force, find the number of troops in the enemy force. That was a lot. If the PC wins the battle, he did win day 2, right?
Yep.
PC gets that number of experience points. Oh,
I got 500 experience points. Woo!
Look at that. PC gets 1/3 of that number if the battle's lost. So the first day,
first day I got
just say 175. I don't know what math is. Don't care.
So
675 for 2 days.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And you can't die because it wasn't an
adventure.
adventure.
I can't die because I'm a PC. So there you go. Hey, I got 675 experience points. Am I level 2 yet?
No.
I'm a thief.
I know, but
I could be level 2.
It's still 1,000 something.
Damn it. All right.
All right, and you can see about these other things, healing rod and rod of victory. Troop movement. The following guidelines should be used when moving forces. The scales for time and distance can vary by the size of force and the distance involved. The standard 24-mile map hex can be used when large forces move over large distance. Oh, interesting. I thought the hexes were 6 miles. I didn't realize they were 24 miles. That would make sense because a 24-mile march in a day for a D&D character. Okay, that actually makes perfect sense. I guess I was wrong in that. When opposing forces draw near each other, 1 move per day is recommended. DMs should try to prepare a detailed map of the area when this occurs. So you'll have the generic hex like, boom, wooded, or actually we said he was in open, boom, open terrain. And then you dive in a little bit more and you've got the hills over here and you got your Gettysburg map and, you know, all that good stuff. Up to 50 troops can move together at their basic movement rate. When more troops are involved, travel slows. There's always that one guy that like twists an ankle or didn't tie his shoe right or his backpack keeps falling off.
Damn it, Corporal Billy.
Private, don't let the corp. No, your corporal has to actually have some, chutzpah about him.
Everyone else died.
Fair enough. Promoted by default. Remember that movement rate is based on the speed of the slowest member of any group. So his halfling army that he's leading, 51 to 100 troops move at 2/3. 101 troops or more move at half the usual rate. Movement rates for wilderness travel are discussed in Chapter 6. If you're using a hex map to regulate movement, these rates can easily be applied to the scale of the map. Because 6 goes into 20. Oh, that's Chapter 6. Never mind. I keep thinking that whole 6 miles per hex is just ingrained in me for some reason. The DM may include a bonus or penalty for easy or rugged terrain, but most situations are covered in the War Machine. Food. If a force is carrying food supplies either on wagons or on individuals, keep track of the supplies. Remember to consider encumbrance when calculating the movement rate. If a force forages for food, modify the basic rule as follows. The force leader can choose to slow movement to 2/3 the normal rate with a 2 in 6 chance of finding enough food, or may slow movement to 1/3 with a 4 in 6 chance of success. Now, these may seem like some pedantic rules, but this is really great when dealing with an army on the march. Game masters, dungeon masters, hear me. Hear me, hear me. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. You can utilize this when troops are advancing on the PC's location. The army got stalled because they had to look for some food. The army is moving, and we'll talk about force march in a little bit. The army's moving at a force march pace. What does that mean? They're going to have scouts. They're going to have, well, hopefully they're going to have scouts. They're going to have informants. They're going to have people telling them stuff, and you can use this. It's okay. Listen to me. It's okay for your enemy army that you're like, I'm going to crush the PCs with this one. You have to stop for a day or two. It happened in the real world constantly. They stopped 6 miles away from, I keep using that 6 mile thing, 6 miles away from where the Roman legions were. And they still didn't fight for another week. I'm not saying that happened every battle, but you get what I'm saying. This is just how things were. So, utilize that in both as in an advantageous way for the players and as an advantageous way for yourself if it makes sense. So nothing wrong with that orc party extending itself a little bit too far and now having to hunt for some food, because even orcs get hungry. Usually for those crispy elves. Terrain can modify the chances by +1 or -1 at the DM's discretion. Force march can a force can attempt a force march to increase its movement rate, but this might not be successful. If it's attempted, find the troop class, roll 1d6, and consult the following table. What was your troop class?
Dude.
What?
I don't know.
No, you wrote it down.
Well, I wrote down the numbers, not the titles.
Oh, okay.
Right. Troop 37?
That we'll go with it. That's fine. Even if it's wrong, it doesn't matter. So we'll go with the 37. So roll 1d6 and consult the following table. All right. So.
Oh no, they were elite. They were elite.
Okay. Well,
yeah,
go ahead and roll 1d6.
1.
Which one? F.
Successful.
Force march successful. Add 50% to the day's movement.
Sweet.
What's F plus M? Oh, force march, but you're also moderately fatigued.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that. You didn't even get any fatigue out of that.
Nope.
That's an elite force, baby. Elite force of level 5s.
We're
Maneuvering.
gonna win that fight with the rest of those elves if they don't run away, because they lost a lot of their force rating when they lost 175 troops.
When the forces of two opposing sides begin to move, the order of movement becomes important. The orders are solved with an initiative roll at the beginning of each time unit. Dexterity adjustments do not apply to this roll. It's because it's a force and not everybody is ninjas. The player assigned with the initiative decides whether to move first or to force the opponents to move first. Player or side chosen moves all of its forces, marking the movement on the map if one is being used. So you don't get to move like 3 guys and be like, okay, you have to move the rest of them. No, you have to move your forces. The remaining side then moves after all movement is complete. Forces that are in contact can engage in combat. If a map is being used, 2 armies come into contact whenever they're in the same hex, square, or space. Each force must either stop or allow the opponent to attack on the march. Ooh, plus 30. Wow. If no map is being used, the same effect occurs whenever 2 forces come within 1 mile of each other. If either of the forces has at least 5,000 troops, the range for contact is 5 miles. Once the forces are in contact, neither force can leave the area without allowing the enemy to attack with the march modifiers, unless, and we are not going to read all the unlesses right now. So what I want to say about this is getting a bit wargamey, but it needs to. If you have chosen to do mass combat, you kind of have to treat it like a war game at this point. And while it may not dive into the most, popular and prominent war games that are out there, how do I say this? I think this has found a balance in the purposes of Dungeons and Dragons between map boards, how do I say this? Wargaming versus, hey, I just want to play, a story-based campaign with my character. If you get into this, kind of got to know what you're getting into. And if you want it to be meaningful, I was going to say effective, but that wasn't the right word. Meaningful, you're going to follow these rules. Remember, there were quick rules. We talked about the quick rules, but if you're really going to get in the mass combat and it's meaningful for your campaign, there you go. And it doesn't seem like it takes a lot of prep. Just read through the rules and we got it. Right? And then, yeah, okay. Last thing we will cover for this.
Checklist. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to just look at the check. We already did it, but let's just take a look at it. And then you, when you're doing this at your table, can understand what's going on. So, War Machine checklist. When troops are acquired, divide the troops into separate forces or armies, or decide that there will be one large force. Determine the basic force rating. We did that. Determine the troop class for each force. We did that. Determine the battle rating for each force. Got all that. Great. When troops are moved, determine the movement rate of each force. Now, we didn't get into that, but we didn't need to for what we were talking about. Determine a map and time scale, so terrain units and time units. Roll for initiative. The winner decides which side moves first. The forces of one side are moved as far as they will travel during one time unit, usually a day or a week. Any forces that break contact to move can be immediately attacked on the march. After the battle, they can move normally unless they receive an R or a rout. So remember, R is retreat. Or R plus, sorry, R plus or retreat. Sorry, retreat plus or rout. My God. The forces on the other side are moved as far as they will travel during this time unit. On the march, attacks are resolved as given above. The side with the initiative can declare that it is attacking in any and all terrain units where the forces of two sides are in contact. There you go. So if you get initiative, basically you get to determine, are you going to let them go or are you going to slaughter them? I mean, my guess is you entered that terrain to attack them. So and since you won initiative and you moved right there to where they are, but maybe that isn't your goal. Maybe you want to hug them. I don't know. The side without initiative may attack as per step 6, resolve with combat order of events. All right, so we did the troop thing. Modify each side's BR is given. Modify each side's BR for any campaign considerations. If the optional tactics are used, choose the tactics. Again, that your mileage may vary on that one. I like the idea of using tactics, but that might start making things a little too swingy for you. At the same time, I kind of like the fact that it can swing. That's just my taste. You pick the right time. Remember, I just put a die down. I don't know if he picked based on what was on the screen or not. I just put a die down. It came.
Picked it up and showed it.
Yeah, so your players are probably going to take a little more effort, like, whoa, hold on, what are we doing here? Yeah, I want to hold ground, or something like that, which could help give them a little advantage versus what the other side might be doing. And use the War Machine combat result table to find the results. Boom. This dives into an aspect of play I don't generally like, but I like the way it handles it. Might not be for me, but I like the way it handles it for, we'll just call it your traditional D&D table. Gets a bit more wargamey, but it helps you visualize that battle, and you can describe it while while the troops are you're trying to figure out all the routing and movement and so on and so forth. So I'm okay with this. Not my favorite thing that I've ever seen, but again, it's just a style thing. I don't generally do sieges or mass combat. I have my players avoid that. They want to be the heroes. They want to be the guys doing other stuff while the mass combat's going on, in my experience. So, your mileage may vary.
The way this is set up, this is basically like free experience. I can't die, but I get experience even if I lose. I don't know, man. Sounds like
but there's a lot of stuff that we didn't really skip, but we kind of glossed over that you got to pay for.
That's true. But still, man, I don't know, man. I probably want to put my guy in there because the PC will also increase the party, as the leader, increase the BR of the force. So, you're not going to die. You're going to cast some spells and
yeah, but I think you're looking at that a very metagamey way, which I'd kick you off my table if you kept doing that. So,
but I want to lead the charge. I want to be the hero.
Okay. Then we're going to have an adventure where you get to do heroic stuff and not just have 50,000, jerks behind you doing it.
Well, they're helping me. I'm not helping them.
How many times did you run when I ran a game? Oh, you weren't in my D&D game, but how many times did I do any sort of mass combat in my games?
I don't remember. That's probably why I don't remember.
Yeah, all right. Even in the TMNT game, I didn't do it. In the AD&D Second Edition game, I didn't do it. In the Earthbound game that you were in, I didn't do it.
No, whenever we were in an army combat, it was always background. It was happening in the background, and we were fighting people we were fighting at the moment.
Yeah, what they would do is they would do something that would modify the battle. Maybe get a magic item that could be used, or maybe the mass battle is actually the distraction for them to do this, whatever it happened to be. But
behind the lines or do something, stuff like that.
They were doing meaningful stuff, but I don't get into it. That's the thing, is I know a lot of you do. I mean, somebody even over on GMI Discord today wants me to talk about domain play on a Friday night. Something I'm just not interested in. Look, I will host that episode because other people are. I just, at my table, you're not going to get a lot of that. You're going to be, I wouldn't say the heroes, but you're going to be protagonists of the story. Anyway, what do we got for comments? Because the next episode is going to be Siege Machine, so we're stopping here.
We got one from Raven's Lair here. Okay. Here's my feeling, and the reason I started this is because it highlights that the rules are there for a reason.
I'm going to start one more, by the way.
Heathen Dog's force is opposed.
Sorry, that was me. I hit the wrong button.
Okay, War Machine is no.
Come on, man. Go get that one that you started. I screwed up. There's a
All right,
delay.
here's
Sorry,
my
there's a
feelings on
delay
heathen.
here.
Shut up. Here's my feelings on Heathen Dog's force as opposed to those elves. They're on flying mounts. He had no missile troops, therefore no way to realistically reach them short of them purposefully dismounting. And this is minutia that it purposely does not cover. You get bonuses for having flying creatures to your BR. You get bonuses to having missile attackers to your BR. After that, that's done. You've already been bonused to your battle rating. Use that.
Yeah, well, the bonus was about percentages. Didn't we determine that the elves had like 20% or whatever it was? It wasn't like the full army was on Pegasus.
Yeah, but you get a bonus to your whole forces battle rating because of that. And so it handled that particular item front end. So when the combat came, you don't have to deal with that. It's just force versus force, and that's it. With a percentage roll for luck. So the game doesn't want you to stress too much when combat is actually happening about the composition of your forces, because on the battlefield at battle time, it's your forces battle rating versus their forces battle rating. That's all that matters.
Yeah, you make the narrative after that.
Optionally, tactics matters, but that's optional. So it's purposely made like that, so things like this don't matter. All right, well, now what do you got?
Well, I wouldn't say they don't matter. I think that's more narrative, though. You just turn the narrative into what...
Yeah, you just have to make a story of how that happened.
Yeah. And as far as we're concerned, the war's still going on.
Yeah. I mean, sure, they lost a lot of troops, but they it's still possible they're going to win. Not as much now it was before, but still possible.
And if we use let's just say arbitrarily we had rolled the tactics beforehand, and we're using the results that we had, well, then he would have lost 20% and I would have lost 30%. I'd still probably have the advantage. I don't know. We were 1 point difference. No, I wouldn't.
No. Yeah, we were only 1 point different.
It'd still be pretty close.
I would have an advantage, but it wouldn't be great.
Right. All right, the other one I want to do here, because I think this is the point that I was making. Here's the thing about Restream, man. I click the button, it takes like 2 seconds for this to pop up. Drives me nuts. War Machine is very wargamey. That doesn't mean that the party can't have a foray into enemy camp to get some intel or kill some commander, etc. It's exactly my point.
Yeah, that's exactly what Max does in his games. The player character party is a special force on its own. And when I say force, I don't mean a force as in war game battle force. No, I mean like a special squad that does a special thing to help or hinder the battle in some way.
Yep. I like to keep again, your mileage may vary. You may be all about look, man, I love the mass combat. I want to vision the armies and so forth. That's awesome. Continue to do that at your table all you want. At my table, it's gonna be treated like they're Dragonlance books or Lord of the Rings. And I know everybody else say, yeah, but Aragorn led an army. I don't care what Aragorn did. The main story was about Frodo. Everything else was secondary. Okay, kind of happening in the background. You're gonna be the Frodos and the Gandalfs and the Bilbos, talking to Smaug.
But at the end of the trilogy, the PCs were leading the actual war game battle. They were all in the army doing army crap at the end, but during the entire saga before that, they were a special tactics team. And this one right here, Walter says, heroes tend to die for their medals. Yes, but leaders live to surrender. Yeah. Leaders live to surrender. Think about it.
Especially in the Middle Ages. I mean, how many knights were auctioned off, or not auctioned off, but ransomed?
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. That's about it.
Okay. Oh, is it cool? Well, what did you think about the War Machine? Hopefully we didn't make that math seem difficult. It wasn't. That's why we actually did some rolls right on the screen there, not even knowing what we were supposed to do, and we figured it out. Sure, we didn't add in those optional rules, or we played around with one of them. As you can see how simple it is. Sure, we also didn't do movement, but you know what? If you're playing the game already, you've got movement down. So what are your thoughts on it? Do you think that the War Machine is good? Are you like me and just going to avoid it because it's just not your typical type of play style, or is this something you look forward to doing at your campaigns? Do you want to sit down and be like, hey, forget all this leveling stuff. Heendog's right. Let's just go lead troops and get all their XP.
Yeah. I mean, at least try it once. See how it feels, you know?
All right. Please like, subscribe, and share. I will be back in just a moment. Or if you're watching this on video later, I'll be back in a couple of days to talk about the Siege Machine.